I'll do a miscellaneous 5 or 6 names, no timeline. But I think when I was young, so there is timeline, when I was young, I played along to lots of Billy Cobham records. I even tried to copy his drum setup. So I wanted this Birch, natural maple,
Monster.
Tama Superstar when I was 16 years, and I saved my money and I got it. But not with that many toms. But my parents took me to a Billy Cobham concert when I was 12 years old, and it was still something I remember a lot. Another big influence for me, and also it came back later, is Stuart Copeland. The Police, the way he sat behind his drum set, he was a basher. And he was a punk drummer, but he could be really funky and really reggae. And the sound he did with the timbales and then that very tight snare, I loved it, you know. Another influence, and this is more because of my being a fan of P-Funk, but also he went out of P-Funk into more fusion jazz, is Dennis Chambers. But he was my favorite drummer, you know, when he was playing with Parliament Funkadelic. He was quite a groover, you know, typical autodidact, pre-gospel shop, just boom, gang, boom. One drummer I really appreciate a lot, not only because of his drums, but also because of his songwriting capabilities and the way he actually brought drumming in front of a band, is Dave Grohl. Nirvana, but also Foo Fighters. And especially the recording he did with Queens of the Stone Age. It's an amazing recording. It's an amazing album. I think that is the ultimate pop rock drumming you can have. And it's not a coincidence that as a songwriter he plays these parts like he did. And another drummer that just pops in mind, because I mentioned Queens of the Stone Age, the first time I heard Jon Theodore play with the Mars Volta, I was blown away. And I actually copied some of his ideas, and I made some of the, you know, like a 3/4 bashing kind of thing. Jon Theodore, and I met him later while touring with Netsky. We sometimes ran into festivals where he was also playing with Queens of the Stone Age, and he's also a very charismatic, very tall guy, and he's an amazing drummer. And if there's one Prince drummer I can mention, and also an amazing timekeeper, sound when he plays toms, it's like, wow, his full weight goes into it. Of course, everybody's talking about Aaron Spears and Eric Moore and so on, so on, so on. But I'm just a very big fan of Michael Bland, Michael B. And he was the drummer in those famous clips of Diamonds and Pearls. That album, that's the most exquisite Prince drumming and pop drumming that I ever heard. And it's still standing the test of time, Michael B. And unfortunately he could not go on tour with Prince a lot because he was a little bit too big, too beef to fly and everything. But yeah, I even think he once played with a young youth band or whatever. But he's an amazing drummer. Yeah. So I think those are pretty much, of course I could mention Buddy Rich and so on, but those are really inspiring guys.